Hey viewers, I'm Aditya from SpexBoy, and in this video, I'm going to tell you what is the difference between coding and programming. So let's get started. So we all know that people often interchange the terms coding and programming, but their meanings are very different from each other. Let's first start with coding. So, coding is basically the process of creating codes from one language to another one. It can also be called as a subset of programming since it actually implements the initial steps of programming. It involves writing codes in different languages as instructed. But what does it mean? What does it mean to you? It means writing sentences or code onto the computer in different programming languages or languages that computer understands. We'll come back to programming languages later in the series. Now, as we have finished the basic meaning of coding, at least the definition of coding, let's see programming. Programming is the process of developing an executable machine language program that can be implemented without any error. It is the process of formally writing codes that the human inputs and corresponding machine outputs remain in sync. So this was the basic difference between coding and programming. Now let's talk about some sharp differences between them. First, it is easier to become a coder than a programmer. So, there are plenty of coding lessons and tutorials all over the web that allows learners to master basic coding terminology and learn to write simple apps or websites. On the other hand, programmers need a specialized degree and years of experience to obtain the skills and knowledge that are required to write complex programs. Second, the work has a different scope. When coding, you transform the requirements in a human language to a language that your application will understand. When programming, you give an app or a machine a set of instructions to be carried out. A programmer is typically responsible for an entire software product, whereas a coder is responsible for a certain part or parts of the software product. Third, to be a programmer, you have to create more. Coders typically follow given instructions and requirements to write code, whereas programmers often use their own imagination and analytical skills to solve specific problems. To be a coder, one should know the syntax, but to be a programmer, one should understand and complex data structures and algorithms as well as be able to create such algorithms. Fourth, programming involves higher level thinking. So, another difference between coding and programming is that programming involves a lot of complex thinking. Programmers should be able to come up with abstract solutions to a problem before they even start coding. Besides, they should think proactively and be able to predict as many potential issues as possible. Finally, programmers use code to express their thoughts of how to solve a problem. Programmers often write or ask technical writers to provide technical specification, documents containing requirements that the final product should meet and problems that it should solve. Coders then follow those specifications to write code, but do not work on specifications themselves. Programmers are also involved in compiling, debugging, testing, and implementation of the code. In other words, the duties of a programmer can go far beyond coding. So, after comparing coding and programming over a range of factors, it can be concluded even though coding and programming are often termed as synonymous, but in reality, there is a lot of difference between coding and programming. Coding is the initial step that deals with the translating requirements and writing a different set of codes to convert into a machine understandable syntax, whereas programming deals with the next different aspects of the executable programs to produce the proper machine level outputs as per the given human inputs. So I guess that's enough of information for today. I'll see you guys in the next video. But before going, check the description box. I have many things for you down there. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.